Hi guys, today we're going to be doing a service on a 2017 Jeep Cherokee Limited. It's a 2.2 diesel Jeep, so it is, and I'm making this video because I can't find any other maintenance videos on diesel Cherokees. So, first thing we're going to do, if you look underneath, you'll see a belly pan, and they're held on by 10mm bolts at various positions. So I'm going to go ahead and take that off. Now, you'll notice I left the last bolt at the front. That's because there's 4 retaining tabs, and I find it easier to take them out at the last, so I do. So, the next stage is to remove the oil drain bolt. For this, you're going to need a ratchet with a 13mm socket and a drain box to drain it into. So I'll show you the location if we're looking underneath. If you look on the UK driver's side, for my American friends, the correct driver's side, you will see the drain plug. So I'm going to go ahead and remove that and drain the oil. I will try to get this in focus. There we go. So, not the hardest thing to get at, but not easy either. Oh, this is going to be messy. So there you have the oil draining out. So what I'm going to do now is pop up above, open the bonnet and open the fill point, and that will let the oil drain a wee bit quicker. So we'll pull the bonnet and we'll open the drain cap, and that will let the oil drain faster. So just setting off, just enough to let a bit of air. That's all it takes. So what I'm going to do now is replace the drain plug. I've put a brand new copper washer in this, and that'll help it seal. And I'm going to clean up around it, and I'm going to put the drain plug in. You'll see there's a lot of oil that has sort of stuck to the belly pan. So we're going to try and clean some of that off, but we'll put this on first so that we don't get brake cleaner or anything else into the engine. Got a good old blue roll to wipe round, but it's still going to drop out a wee bit. We'll just clean the face of where the bolt is going to seat. I've already cleaned the bolt. Just give it another wee wipe, just to make sure you don't get grit or anything else into the engine. So we'll replace the bolt now. This will have the added benefit that when I'm changing the oil filter, I won't have oil dripping on top of me. I'm going to sweeten it up, but I am not going to tighten it to torque just yet. Right, that's now sweetened. So, as I say, it's not torqued, it's just closed. I'm going to spray a bit of brake cleaner. Get out of my oil collection pan here. Just getting rid of all this nasty dripping stuff. That's good stuff. Yeah, look at that, lovely. Why would you design that with an upward lip? What has happened when the car was draining is when we got to the very end of the flow, the oil, so at the start it comes out quite smoothly. And when you get to the very end of it, it's gone in underneath, between the engine and this plastic cover. Which will no doubt be an absolute nightmare to clean. And a wee bit more for luck. Right, I'll find the oil filter now and I'll get back to you whenever I've looked. So, after a wee bit of investigation, I found the oil filter. So for reference, you're looking at the front of the Jeep. So your oil filter is down here. So let's have a wee look. Now, if I move this torch ever so slightly, no, I'll have to try that again with a different lighting solution. Apologies guys, I'm not good at making videos and I'm doing it with one hand, so we'll get there. So, if you can see that CV boot, if you wait till I get my hand down, I will try and point to where this is. See my glove? See just where the finger of the glove is touching. That's the top of the plastic cap of the oil filter on a 2.2 Jeep Cherokee Diesel. Whoever designed this and put a filter in that position where you can't reach it should be fired. I'll get back to you now whenever I figure out how to get a socket onto that. Okay, after trying to get this oil filter out, I'm going to have to take the vehicle off the ramps. As you can see, we're sitting on ramps and we have axle stands as a backup. And if we go round to the back of the vehicle, you'll also see that the wheels are chocked. So I'll get back to you whenever I've taken this off the ramps. Well, we have the vehicle off the ramps now, and what I'm going to try and do is I'm going to jack it up on the driver's side, and we're going to take off the driver's side wheel and we're going to attempt to get a socket with a knuckle in through the plastic guard. our axle stand. We don't work without putting the vehicle on the stands. We're now jacked up, so I'm going to go get my nut gun and we'll take this wheel off. Hi guys, now that we've got the wheel off, I went and put a second axle stand in under there because you do not want the car falling. Despite the damage it might cause, it could hurt you quite badly. So, I don't know if you can see it or not, but just above that silver bar, you see that little star type thing? That is the cup for your oil filter. So I'm going to go get a socket with an extension and a knuckle and try and catch that and get it screwed out. And as you can see below is the drive shaft, which is going to get absolutely plastered in oil because there's not a thing we can do about it. Right, we're about to take off the oil filter housing. One thing I wanted to show you before we do that is, if you can see, I have two different types of socket here. Both 32mm. See the way there's more splines on this one? You see around the edges, a lot more splines. And this one is more straight edged. Well, they're both 32, but this one will grip the filter housing much better. This one, all these splines will slip around the edges of the filter housing and will damage it. So use one like this. So what we're going to do to reach in here is I'm going to reach my hand in and then I'm going to feed the socket through. So here we go. I hope you guys have a good view in there. Is the socket secure? Now we're going to try and get this to couple onto it. It's going to be a tight fit. Oh, it's going to be a very tight fit. Slightly different. I'll get back to these whenever I get it on. Okay, so this is the arrangement I've come to. It's a straight socket leading back, or a straight extension should I say, leading back to the socket. You can just about see the socket at the end of that, and that's onto the filter cup. It's not something just dead square, but it's close enough, not doing any damage. So you can see the oil starting to come out already. So I'll just go ahead and take this out. I think that'll come by hand now, so when I pull this, the socket will drop off. So I'll just catch that. There we go. Socket and extension out. Let's get it back. And reach in and take out our filter element. Then we'll have to suss out how we're going to get it actually out of there. So that's the filter out and the oil is trickling out. Lovely. Right, would it be too handy to come out this way? And our filter stayed in. Okay, so reach there. We'll pull that plastic guard back, and that gives us space to get our filter cup out. Mostly space. Bit of manoeuvring involved, but we'll get there. Now, if I was an intelligent person, I would have put something on the ground to catch that oil, but there'll be a bit of cleaning later. Let's try and get the filter element itself out. There we go. Oh, that's lovely. Right, that's the filter out. I'll just change my gloves before I lift the camera because filming with an iPhone, so I don't want to get it plastered. Beautiful. When you're doing this, do it in old clothes because you do get sparked. So there's our element. There's our puddle of oil that I'll need to clean. And you can see there's oil everywhere, but there's literally, well, you could put a rag over it, I suppose, but I'll just use copious amounts of brake cleaner later on. You can see where the element went. So just getting ready to pop in the new filter element, and then we're going to close her up and let her down. Well, close her up, put the wheel on, and then let her down. So, camera's on the wrong side, but you can just see where the filter was behind that bar. You see that circle? Oh, that is such an awkward place to get at. And really not designed for maintenance at all, because where do you put the oil? Oil comes out, goes over the drive shaft, goes everywhere. Right, I'll attempt to get this in now, and you can watch me maybe fail miserably. I don't know. Right. A wee bit of fresh oil, maybe to lube up these. But just went and got a bit of fresh oil. A wee tiny bit around these O-rings. I'm just going to spin some oil onto the O-rings in the front of the filter. Just make it a wee bit sloppy. That's pretty well greased up there. Trying to get the filter into place whilst avoiding all the dirt is going to be a challenge. In fact, I think the wee bit fell off there, so I'm just going to give it quick. Now, the reason I put the filter in first is because I can't fit the housing for the filter in without knocking a load of dirt off. Right, we're back. Oh, that took quite a bit of manoeuvring to get it unclean. So, the filter is now within the filter element housing here. I think it is fully seated. Nope, there's it fully seated now. That's better. Right. So, now all we gotta do is get the filter housing fitted. So, back me in a minute. Right. So, we've got the filter housing element with a new O-ring. So, again, put the oil, we're going to put a wee tiny bit of oil around that. Try to help it slide on. So. Just putting a wee liner of oil around that O-ring to make it a wee bit slick. It's new fresh oil that is. Might try a different tactic with this one. I might go in with a trolley jack from under, or not trolley jack, with a creeper from underneath. Don't want to get any dirt on this. Right, what I found to get the oil filter casing in, it is easier to slide in underneath with a creeper and reach up through that hole. That's the easiest way to get at that filter. So what I'm going to do now is put my extension shaft on and tighten that up. Right, so the housing is secure, if you can see it again above the silver bar. So I have it tightened, cleaned the oil. So I'm going to put the wheel on and then we'll start filling the oil. Don't want to forget that. Always start the nuts by hand so you don't wring the threads. I'm not torquing these nuts because I'm not going to drive the car tomorrow. These are coming back off to service the brakes, so it's just to hold the weight tonight. If you're wondering why I'm pulling the socket, it's because I left it into a tyre shop recently and the people who was working on it didn't put the socket fully home before they spun the gun, so now my wheel nuts are slightly out of shape, so I'm going to have to order some of them new. Axle stands removed, we can let her down slowly. Right. Just got to top up the oil now, so let's get started. So we're going to top up with oil now. A Cherokee Diesel takes 0W30, a SIA grade C2. So I will find somewhere to put my camera and then we will top it up. Well, you sit. I think it might sit at that. Not gonna be so lucky. There we go. Right. So I'm going to put just shy of 4 litres onto it and see where that takes us. I like to use a funnel because it keeps it lovely and clean. See where we're at. It's about 2 litres, so I'll put another litre point. I don't know, nearly 2 litres. I would call that good for now. A bit of blue paper to soak up the Right, I'll just wait now to settle. Okay, so we're about 15 minutes afterwards. Just long enough to let it settle, so we're just going to check it again. And clean the dipstick. And we're about full. So we're just up to the top mark on the dipstick, so there. So it's okay to be a wee tiny bit below it. Ideally you don't want to be above it. But you don't want to be at the bottom of it either. You want to be at least halfway to the full mark, halfway up to the full mark. Right guys, so I've got our scanner tool plugged in and we're going to go to service. And we're going to go oil reset, VIN check, auto detect. It's going to scan the VIN and it's going to identify the vehicle. So that's the vehicle's VIN. Okay, it's going to tell us what it is. So it's a Jeep Cherokee, and we're going to hit yes. And we're going to go to hot functions. So if I push across, you can see the oil life. Can you see it in the video? Right, it's going to shake a bit, guys. So you can see 35% oil life remaining, and you can see, can't get far enough back. You can see oil, auto reset. So we'll do that. Okay. Okay. So when we look back, we are now sitting at 100% oil life. So once you've put the belly pan on, that is the last bit of the oil change, and the oil change is now complete. It would be good practice to check the oil on the dipstick maybe a week afterwards, and just periodically before the next change. Thanks for watching, guys. All the best.